All right, this morning we are standing by for Nick Reiner to make his first court appearance. He is now formally charged with first-degree murder in the fatal stabbing of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle. We are learning more about his troubles going back years. Rob and his son, they spoke about how they navigated these issues. Almost 10 years ago, they were doing interviews for the film Being Charlie, which was written by Nick and is loosely based on his struggles. I want you to listen to how they were discussing it then.
Deep down, he trusted that we loved him and that we were there for him, and that put a little bit of a brake on certain things. I mean, it's a desire to survive,
yeah.
You know, and that put a little, and I think that's where we made the mistake, is that we didn't trust that he had that.
Well, I think I'm lucky in the sense that I have parents that care about me, and because of that, when I would go out and do, you know, things like drugs and stuff like that, I'd feel a tremendous amount of guilt because I'd think, oh, they're thinking about me right now. They want me to do good. And most people don't have, not most people, but some people don't have parents that are, you know, have any interest in them.
It really is just so hard to hear that now. With us is Emmy Award-winning comedian Paul Mecurio. He's the host of the podcast Inside Out with Paul Mecurio. And he was the man, you saw a flash frame of him there. He was the one doing that interview.
Yeah.
What's it like to think back? What was it like to be with them at that moment, talking about the struggle?
It was beautiful. It was two people in love that had gone, look, addiction doesn't, you don't pick it, it picks you. And not just the addict, but the family. And it was two people who had been through this and got through the other side. And there were two key words in those two shots. One was Rob saying mistake, and Nick saying lucky. And those two words to me meant appreciation for each other, respect for each other. I'm a parent, you're parents watching. Biggest fear I have is I'm making a mistake, like every day, because there's no instruction manual, right? So for Rob to admit, like, we made mistakes, but we figured it out. And that was the same tone from Nick. And so the other thing that was fascinating, I'm a parent, you know, as parents we can tend, even subconsciously, treat our kids one step beneath us, right? We're in charge. None of that in that interview. If you watch Rob's just behavior and demeanor, little like that, it was Nick's moment. Rob wasn't going to overshadow. And to see it, to hear what happened, I could have never predicted it from that, because what I saw there were two people that respected each other, and then through communication, they found each other through the work that Rob did and the film. And so when I sat with them, I saw nothing but a perfect story that came full circle.
You know, and addiction, any family that has dealt with addiction knows that, I mean, it is hard to explain, it's complicated, the road is tough and heart-wrenching and long.
Yeah.
And you see that with this family. But I was also thinking of, you know, as someone in your work, you pull from life experience to put it into your work, but in such a way that they did in this film. I can't imagine exposing, you know, I can't imagine talking about just, you know, what my family has gone through in such a public way would be.
Well, that was the thing that, and then going back and looking at it again, because I hadn't watched the interview in a long time, is the honesty and the candor, which is hard to do generally in life.
Yeah.
About something like this, to be admitting mistakes, both sides. You totally felt like they'd been through a lot of therapy and a lot of things, and they were working it out. And so, what I found and what they said was they made this as much for them, but if not more so for other people out there that might be going through the same thing. So that ties into Rob and his history as being a social activist and caring about human beings and a humanitarian, that he was willing to pull from his life to create a piece of art that was cathartic for he and his family and his son, but also, they hope, for the millions of people around the world that might be dealing with something like this. And he didn't have to do this, right? He could have just stayed in his mansion and counted his money and do whatever, right? And so when you see what I saw were two people that just were in love with each other and respected each other.
Makes it so much harder.
Yeah.
Now, I think, to even try to begin to understand something that may not be, able to be understood. Paul Mecurio.
Heartbreaking.
Doesn't even begin to describe it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here
Good
with us.
to see you all the
Appreciate
time.
it.
Thanks for coming in, Paul.
Thank you.